One day, a humble countryman knocked firmly on the door of a monastery. When the gatekeeping monk answered, the man handed him a magnificent bunch of grapes. "Brother, these are the finest grapes my vineyard has ever produced," he said. "I have brought them as a gift." The monk smiled and responded, "Thank you. I will take them straight to the abbot. He will surely be delighted with your offering." But the farmer shook his head. "No, these are for you." The monk blushed. "For me? But I don't deserve such a fine gift." "Yes, you do," insisted the man. "Every time I knocked on this door, it was you who welcomed me. When a drought ruined my crops, you gave me bread and wine every day. Now, I hope these grapes bring you a little of the sun's warmth, the beauty of the rain, and the miracle of God, because He is the one who made them grow so perfectly." The monk held the grapes in his hands, mesmerized by their beauty. He spent the entire morning admiring them, feeling their significance. But then he thought of the abbot, the wise leader who had always encouraged him with kind words. "He deserves these more than I do," the monk reasoned. And so, he took the grapes to the abbot. The abbot was pleased with the gift, but as he looked at the luscious grapes, he recalled that there was a sick brother in the monastery. "I'll give these to him," he thought. "Perhaps they will bring him a little joy in his difficult days." The sick monk received the grapes with gratitude, touched by the thoughtful gesture. But as he looked at them, he thought of the cook, the one who had taken care of him for so long, preparing delicious meals with dedication. He should enjoy these, the sick monk decided. So, when the cook arrived with his meal, the sick monk handed him the grapes. "These are for you," he said. "You are always working with the gifts of nature. You will know exactly how to appreciate this one." The cook was amazed by the grapes' perfection. He turned to his assistant and said, "Look at these. Have you ever seen anything so flawless?" Then an idea struck him. "No one would appreciate these more than our monastery priest," he thought. "He is the one responsible for the Holy Sacrament, and many here consider him a truly holy man. He should be the one to receive this gift." So, the cook took the grapes to the priest, who was deeply moved by the gesture. The priest held the grapes for a long time, reflecting on their journey through so many hands. Then he smiled. He thought of the youngest novice in the monastery, a young man still learning to see God's work in the smallest details of life. He should have these, the priest decided. So, he handed the grapes to the novice and said, "Let these remind you that God's miracles are found in the simplest things." The novice was overjoyed. He had never seen such beautiful grapes before. And as he held them, a memory came rushing back. The day he first arrived at the monastery, nervous and uncertain. It was the gatekeeping monk who had welcomed him that day, the same monk who had first received the grapes. Just before nightfall, the novice walked to the gates and found the monk. "Brother," he said, handing him the grapes, "these are for you. You spend so much time here alone, but today I want you to enjoy this gift. May it bring you happiness." The monk looked at the grapes and smiled, realizing what had just happened. In life, what goes around truly comes around. The kindness we give always finds its way back to us. Every good deed, no matter how small, will return in ways we least expect. So, never stop doing good. You never know how far your kindness will travel before it finds its way back home. Once upon a time in ancient days, a wise king decided to teach his people a lesson about perseverance and initiative. He ordered his men to place a massive rock in the middle of a busy road. Then, he hid nearby, watching to see how his subjects would react. Would anyone take action, or would they simply complain and walk away? One by one, the kingdom's wealthiest merchants and nobles passed by. Some shook their heads in frustration, mumbling about how the king should have kept the roads clear. Others simply walked around the obstacle, choosing the easier path. Yet, despite their complaints, not a single one of them tried to move the rock. Then, along came a simple peasant carrying a load of vegetables. As he approached the large stone, he stopped and sighed, realizing it was blocking the way. Instead of complaining, he put down his burden and began to push with all his might. He strained, he struggled, but he refused to give up. Finally, with one great effort, he managed to move the rock off the road. As the peasant turned back to gather his vegetables, he noticed something unexpected. Right where the rock had been, there was a small purse lying on the ground. Inside, he found several gold coins and a note from the king. The note explained that the reward was for the one who took the initiative to remove the obstacle, rather than simply avoiding it. Life is much like this story. Every challenge we face is not just a roadblock, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to grow, to learn, and to improve our circumstances. While some choose to complain and do nothing, others rise to the occasion, using determination, kindness, and effort to create new possibilities. So the next time you encounter a problem, don't see it as an inconvenience. See it as a chance to push forward, to become stronger, and to turn challenges into opportunities. After all, success often lies just beyond the obstacles in our path. Once upon a time, a disciple approached his master with a pressing question, "Master, how can I calm my mind?" The master, seemingly preoccupied, responded, "I'm too busy to talk right now. Why not ask your first Dharma brother?" Though puzzled, the disciple obeyed and went in search of an answer elsewhere. He found his first Dharma brother and repeated his question. But the brother simply shook his head and said, "I have a headache, I can't talk right now. Why not ask our second Dharma brother instead?" Again, the disciple followed the suggestion, determined to find guidance. Upon meeting the second Dharma brother, he asked the same question. This time, the response was different yet just as dismissive. "I have a stomachache," the brother said. "Why don't you go back and speak with our Dharma master?" Frustrated and feeling ignored, the disciple returned to his master with complaints. "No one gave me an answer. No one told me anything," he exclaimed. The master looked at him sternly and said, "You really are a fool. Everyone has already given you the answer." At that moment, something clicked in the disciple's mind, and he reached enlightenment. Suddenly, he understood. His question had never required an external answer. The truth had always been within him. In life, no one else can solve your problems for you. No one can calm your mind except you. True understanding comes from within, from deep inner reflection. You must engage in conversations with yourself, explore your desires, understand your will, and embrace the power of your own mind. So, play with your thoughts. Contemplate everything. Seek wisdom not from others, but from within. Because the greatest truths of the world are already inside you, waiting to be discovered. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and remember, all the answers you seek are within. Once upon a time, in ancient China, there lived 3 old monks. Their names are not remembered today simply because they never revealed them to anybody. In China, they are simply known as the 3 laughing monks. They always traveled together and did nothing else but laugh. They would enter a village or a town, stand in the center of its main square, and start laughing. Slowly but surely, the people who lived and worked there, along with passers-by, couldn't resist and began laughing as well. A small crowd would gather, all laughing together, and eventually, the laughter would spread throughout the entire village or town. That was the moment when the 3 old monks would move on to the next place. Their laughter was their only prayer, all of their teaching. They never spoke to anybody. They simply created that joyful situation wherever they went. All over China, they were loved and respected. The people had never known such spiritual teachers before or after. It seemed as if they had discovered some kind of cosmic joke, showing everyone that life should be taken as a great opportunity to laugh. The 3 monks continued their travels for many years, spreading joy and happiness throughout China. One day, while staying at a particular village in the northern province, one of them passed away. The people were shocked and came running from afar, leaving their fields and work unattended, just to see how the other 2 monks would react to this tragic event. Everyone expected the 2 remaining monks to show sorrow, maybe even cry. The whole village gathered to witness their reaction. But instead, the 2 monks were laughing even harder. They laughed and laughed, unable to stop, which confused and even angered some of the villagers. Curious and puzzled, a few villagers approached the monks and asked why they weren't mourning for their deceased friend. For the first time, the monks actually responded. They said, "Yesterday, on our way to your village, he proposed a bet on which one of us would beat the others and die first. And now he won. The old rogue." They laughed even louder, celebrating their friend's victory. The deceased monk had even left a testament. Tradition required washing the dead and changing their clothes before placing them on the funeral pyre. However, the old monk had explicitly requested to be left in the clothes he was wearing. "I have never been filthy for one day," his testament stated. "I never allowed any of the filth of this world to reach me through my laughter." Following his wishes, the old man's body was placed on the pyre with the same clothes he had arrived in. As the fire was lit and started burning his clothes, something extraordinary happened. Suddenly, fireworks of 100 colors went exploding up, down, and in all directions. The people stood there astonished but soon found themselves laughing along with the two remaining monks. You see, maybe the only reason we are here on this earth is to laugh, to experience joy and happiness, and to spread that joy to others. So, the next time you face a problem, look in the mirror and just laugh the problem away. Because your joy is what makes you truly alive.
A short story to put a smile on your face. Once upon a time, a man moved to a new village. As he arrived, he wondered if he would like it there. To find out, he went to see his Zen master and asked, "Do you think I'll like it in this village? Are the people here nice?" The master looked at him and asked in return, "How are the people in the town you came from?" The man frowned and said, "Oh, they were terrible, greedy, angry, always cheating and stealing." The master nodded and said, "Those are exactly the kind of people you'll find in this village." The next day, another newcomer arrived in the village. He, too, went to see the Zen master and asked the same question. "Do you think I'll like it here? Are the people nice?" Again, the master asked, "How are the people in the town you came from?" With a smile, the newcomer replied, "Oh, they were wonderful, kind, caring, and respectful. They lived in harmony and always helped one another." The master smiled back and said, "Those are exactly the kind of people you'll find in this village." You see, life reflects back what we choose to see. If you expect kindness, love, and goodness, that's what the world will show you. But if you focus only on negativity, that's what you'll keep finding. So, be good to the world, and the world will be good to you. Give love, and love will find its way back to you. Stay positive, stay kind, and watch how the world smiles back at you.
Somewhere in the world, on a bright and ordinary day, two frogs hopped through the countryside. They were best friends, like brothers. One was plump, the other slim, but that never got in the way of their bond. They shared a love for adventure, always on the lookout for new experiences, no matter how risky. One day, while exploring, they saw a farmer place a large bucket in front of a stable. Their curiosity got the best of them, and they decided to check it out. Since the bucket was too tall to see inside, the only way to solve the mystery was to jump in. The moment they landed, they realized their mistake. The bucket was filled with fresh milk, and the slippery sides made it impossible to escape. They paddled furiously, trying to find a way out, but there was nothing to hold on to. Time passed, and the fatigue began to set in. An hour later, the fat frog sighed heavily and turned to his friend. "This is pointless," he said. "We're just going to drown. There's no way out. No one will come to save us. We might as well stop struggling and accept our fate." But the skinny frog refused to give up. "Hold on, brother. Just keep paddling. As long as we keep moving, there's still hope. We won't drown if we don't stop." Hours passed, and exhaustion crept in. The fat frog, unable to see any reason to continue, finally gave up. "I can't go on any longer," he whispered before slipping beneath the surface. The skinny frog watched, heartbroken, but he knew he had to keep fighting. More determined than ever, he kicked and paddled with all his strength. As midnight approached, something incredible happened. The milk began to thicken. With all his effort, he had churned it into butter. Standing on the solid surface he had created, he leaped out of the bucket and into the night, free but forever changed by what he had lost. Years later, the skinny frog built a new life. He married, had many children, and never forgot his lost friend. To keep his memory alive, he named all his children after him and told them the story every night. "Life is tough," he would say, "but you have to be tougher. Never give up. As long as you keep going, you will never truly lose." And that's the lesson of the story. When times are hard, don't stop paddling. Keep pushing forward, and one day, you'll find your way out. Stay strong, stay determined, and most of all, never give up. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Stay blessed, everyone.